This is more about living in the time of the coronavirus epidemic. It's interesting and surprising to read someone who thinks the content she sees on television is intellectually stimulating. Art, even. Rarely has that been my experience. I have spent most of my life blaming TV for much of my stupidity. Yes, I thought years of gazing at the boob tube, wandering in the vast wasteland, had sanded all of the fine edges off my brain, leaving me with a poor, smooth lump. And at some point in my life, I got the bright idea that maybe I could make some money from this. I could claim a disability inflicted on me by TV. I could say that years of viewing had made me, or at the very least had contributed mightily to making me, stupid. So I went to a lawyer I knew and asked if he thought we could make a case. "Well, look," he said, "I agree. I think you're stupid. In fact, I won't mince words. I know you're stupid. I'm sure of it. However, the problem we, as potential litigants, have is, can we definitely attribute your stupidity to television? Could years of viewing alone wear a brain down to such a paltry nub? You see the problem? I'd say probably not. Take my word for it. A lawsuit would be expensive with a dicey outcome. I recommend against it." One day, I was driving to see another lawyer, get a second opinion, and I was multitasking as usual. I was driving, and I was on the phone, and it was raining too, and I was shaving, and getting directions, and munching on a bagel, making notes for a piece I was working on, drinking some iced tea, when a song came on the radio, "Sweet Child of Mine," and at the break I was playing air guitar, when suddenly, out of nowhere, someone cut me off, and I had to swerve to avoid them and brake as well, and the jerking motion of the car snapped my head back. No, my neck was all right, but I suffered a partial dislocation of my cerebral cortex, the damnedest thing, and I'm afraid that was the end of my bright idea about suing television for making me stupid. Even though I remain convinced that TV is at least a contributing factor to what you see here, but alas, believing it is so and proving it in a court of law, two very different things. The Democrats are moving ahead with their gun control legislation. I think it is unwise, and it will not accomplish what they intend it to, unless all they really want is to poke a stick in the eye of their opponents. If they are able to pass it, and enact it, that is, they believe they can improve the situation in this country by passing a law. Cripes, if they can't make it work with litter, what makes them think they can do it with guns? Oh, they'll go ahead. It makes them feel just and righteous. It makes them feel good. Well, so does playing with yourself. And those two really aren't so different. It's just that with the one, you're wearing a suit and doing it in front of a lot of people. With the other, you're probably naked and alone. The outcome, however, is just about the same. I saw Mike Rowe, the dirty job guy. He said that right now we are busy not communicating with each other, but instead trying to silence each other and throwing gasoline on the fire. He said that now there was no difference between what a person knows and what a person believes. They are the same. In other words, we've gotten lax with what we use to govern our actions. We've replaced the certainty of facts with what we think is true, our beliefs. And I think, because it is spurious, we adhere to that position almost frantically, and we actively dislike or even hate those who believe differently. Things like that lead to the Crusades, something to think about as we toss gas on the fire. All this about TV. Here's a line of dialogue from a show. I know you're in pain, but you can't go around it. You gotta go through it. I agree with that. If the pain is real, you have to accept it and get past it before you can go on with your life. You can't ignore it or pretend it isn't there. That strikes me because it seems to be the exact opposite of the message sent out by the PM and his fellow dummy-craps. They say, we can help you with your pain. Here's some money, free health care, a stimulus package. Listen, there doesn't have to be any pain. We can go around it and around it and around it. You know what they're doing? They're doing the hokey pokey rather than facing the pain. And when it comes to elections, that's the choice. Do you want pain or the hokey pokey? And we considered that, and we voted for the hokey pokey. We decided to dance rather than face our pain. That's perfectly understandable. And if this was television, maybe we could get away with that. But this isn't TV. This is real life. And that pain doesn't go away. It's still there, more gas for the fire. But that was the name of one of James Baldwin's books, The Fire Next Time. The only question is this finally the next time? Or can we put it off once again and keep dancing? You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out. You put your right foot in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.